Hey everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right, so this is a video I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's just talking about my 26 years of physical media collecting. And I have to tell you, I've loved all 26 years. I think it's been absolutely fantastic. And I hope to go for another 26 years or beyond that. But yeah, it's a video I've been wanting to do. It's a video that I wanted to put out there just so you can get a better understanding of exactly what I'm all about. And hopefully when this video is done, you will finally get an proper understanding of why I love collecting physical media as much as I do. But I spoke briefly about this in a live stream where someone asked, you know, where did this all start? Where did the inspiration start to have your own kind of collection, your own movie collection? And I'm going to just briefly speak about that now. So I did say this in the stream that we had a neighbour that used to live in, it was next door to us, in my old house that I grew up in, back in 1986. This was probably, I was only around 6 years old, 7 years old. But I remember one day going into my neighbour's house and he was big into recording movies off TV. Do you remember them days? They used to be an absolute blast. But yeah, he was obsessed with it. And he formed his own collection in his house. He had this huge cabinet inside his house. And I remember one day walking into his house, he brought me into his room, his living room, and he just opened up this cabinet and it was just full of all recorded VHSs. And the minute I seen them doors open, it was love at first sight. I knew this is something that I wanted to do sometime in the future. And he opened the doors. It was just a sight to behold. And then all of a sudden he brought out this book and he had everything written down and he had all the videos numbered, and I loved it. I loved how he had it all set up. So I remember there was a small time where we actually tried doing it ourselves. We were trying to record movies, but there was that many of us living in the house. It was very hard for everyone to agree on what you wanted to watch on TV. Because back in them days, you know, when you record something, you had to have it on while recording. So it's funny when you think about it now. So yeah, we tried it for a while and never worked out. I think we got to maybe volume 20 and then we were done. Everyone lost interest. So yeah, jump a couple of years to 96. 96, what a year that was. Three great things happened to me in 96. One, of course, I met my partner Ellen, which is probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Two, I started my first job. I was 16 years old. And three, that's when my physical media journey started. This never left me. What happened with my neighbour never left me. It stuck with me, and I knew that as soon as I started working, I was going to instantly jump into buying physical media. And I had to tell you, folks, it only took me 2 weeks in my new job, and I was off. And funny enough, I actually remember the day very well. There was a local video store called Top 10. Top 10. I think it's a great name to a video store. But I remember walking in one day, and I picked up 2 movies on VHS. And this was the first one, Deadly Friend, and I still love the artwork on that. And the second one, people will be surprised by this one, is Striking Back. So this is known as the New Kids. I thought this was always known as Striking Back, but it's only when 88 Films brought it out, I realised it was actually called the New Kids. But if you actually look up here, right on, you see this little circle here? In Top 10, that's the only way you knew they were for sale. They had these little circles on it, and then you had to go up and basically ask how much they were looking for. And I remember, I think I bought both of these for, I think it was around £4. I think it was £2 each. And then that was it. I was off, and I have to admit, I never looked back. Now, when I was collecting VHS, I have to tell you, VHS was probably the best time of my life when it came to collecting physical media. Maybe because there was so much more outlets out there that you can buy from. There used to be a place in Dublin called Chapters. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's actually reopening very soon. But they had this massive VHS section. It was almost like it was in the basement of this building. And I remember walking in one day and everything was £1. You know, I was like a child on Christmas morning. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. And we were buying, my fiancée Ellen and her brother Chris, all three of us, we were just going around with bags and bags of VHS, picking up as many as we can. I remember we'd be in there and all of a sudden you'll find a movie that you want, and then you'd be like, what, £3? Oh, screw that. You know, you didn't want to pay £3. You wanted to pay £1. And I had to tell you, folks, that was some of the best times I had when it came to collecting physical media. And of course with VHS, back in them days, I wasn't at all into buying big collectibles, you know. There wasn't really that many collectibles out there for VHS. I think the likes of this here was the height of collectibles, like the likes of this Alien box set. It came in this nice hard box, and then you had the 4 movies, and you have, when I say 4 movies, sorry, it's actually 3 movies, and then you got the making of Resurrection. So Resurrection wasn't even out when I bought this box set. And yeah, that was unheard of at the time. You know, you got a making of, you know, you'd be like, what the hell, this is just incredible. So yeah, it's the likes of this box set here, or even this box set that I have here of Pearl Harbor. You kind of had these flat box sets where you literally got a VHS inside it, and maybe you got a book, something like that. So the collectibles weren't too big into VHS when it came to VHS. And yeah, I think it was around then 97 when DVD came out. So bear in mind, I started collecting VHS in 96. So I was really against VHS when it came out in 97. And I did not jump on the bandwagon. I was actually one of them people that I was like, when I think it was my brother bought a DVD player, and he knocked on a DVD, and I was like, what? You know, what's this? It looks no better than VHS. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah, I was just really in denial. I didn't want DVD to take over because I was enjoying collecting VHS as much as I was. But I think it was around 99, I caved in and I started buying DVD. And I was one of them people that actually bought DVDs before getting the player. So I do remember going into HMV, and the first movie I desperately wanted on DVD, and this is going to surprise a lot of people because there's not many fans for this movie out here, but Hard Rain was the first movie I bought on DVD. I went to see this movie in the cinema. I loved it. I bought it on VHS, and the minute I seen this DVD, I instantly wanted it. And look at the case on this. You don't see these anymore, these kind of hard plastic cases. It's a shame they actually stopped doing them because I actually quite like them. But I bought that movie in HMV. Again, I think it was around 98, 99. And then I also bought this Halloween 2 edition with that Hard Rain. And I have to tell you, folks, if you are, you know, a person that was trying to get into DVD, you know, you wanted to see the sizable upgrades that you were going to see over VHS, don't start with this movie because I'm not kidding you, it looks no better than a VHS. It is absolutely terrible. So yeah, they were the 2 movies that I picked up first on DVD, amazingly enough. And I remember that day well. And it wasn't too long after picking them up, I think it was around maybe 2 weeks later, I bought my DVD player. I needed to see Hard Rain on DVD. And as soon as I seen Hard Rain, that's when my journey started with DVDs. And DVDs, when it came to collectibles as well, I wasn't big into collectibles with DVDs. There's 1 or 2 editions that I might have in my collection that's semi-collectible, but not a whole lot. You know, nothing to write home about when it comes to collectibles, especially when you consider them today. But yeah, the DVD journey I absolutely loved, and I have so many great memories as well of DVD. Not as good as the VHS journey, but the DVDs were great. Like there's one question I get asked. It's been said a lot to me, and I spoke to John over at Mondo Chelovic Movies there about this, where John kind of was on a stream the other night, and he was basically talking about me, and he was there saying that in that stream that Keith never gets rid of anything. Everything that he owns on physical media, I kept. And John kind of put this idea into my head as well about this part of the video that I want to talk about. And people, yeah, do ask me, why do I keep everything? And this is going to sound absolute, I don't know how this is going to even come across, but I see my collectibles, every single movie that I have, whether it's VHS or DVDs, every one of them are time capsules to me. I remember every single day, you know, every movie that I bought, I remember the day very, very well. And I know that sounds mad, but I do. It's just how much I love collecting physical media. Like, I remember that I'm going to just show you this quickly. I remember going into I think it was Extravision. It was Extravision. I don't think it was HMV at the time. And I went in and I bought this movie for 35 quid. It was 35 pounds for AI. And this was the first time where I literally kicked my own ass, especially when I watched the movie. I was not a fan of it. But I do remember that day very well. I remember going into Extravision. I seen it there. There was only one copy. No one wanted to buy it. And that should have been a red flag there. But I couldn't get it out of my head all day. And then I went back that evening and I picked it up. Much like this one here as well. RoboCop, the trilogy. Same thing, went into Extravision and it wasn't an expensive box set. I think it was around maybe, well, when I say not expensive, it was around £40, which probably would have been expensive then. But it was one of those things that I picked it up, I put it down, I picked it up, put it down, and then I walked out of HMV. I didn't pull Extravision, I didn't pull the trigger on it. And I'm not kidding you, folks. Later that night, I was actually in a pub and I was having a few drinks. And I think it was around 9 o'clock and Extravision stayed open until 10. I still was thinking about it. And I actually left the pub to go over to Extravision and pick the set up. I needed a few drinks on me to kind of kick me towards picking this up. And that's exactly what I'd done. So yes, if anyone's kind of wondering about why I don't sell anything, it is for that reason. I feel like that if I sell off these movies, I'm selling off my memories of buying these movies as well. And that's something I absolutely do not want to do. Now, again, I don't really know how that's going to come across and what people are going to think about it. I really don't care, to be honest, because that's how I feel. I remember everything. I honestly do. So, yes, I collected anyway DVDs, and then all of a sudden around 2008 came along, and then Blu-ray came out. And I have to admit, when Blu-ray started, I jumped on the bandwagon straight away. And I actually remember that day as well, quite well. It was January. And my fiance, we were actually on our Christmas holidays, and I think we were going back to work on the 5th of January. And I think it was around the 2nd of January, and I woke up, and my fiance was just looking at me, Ellen, and she went, let's go and buy something. Let's go buy something big in January. And we got up, we turned around, and we said, right, we're going to buy a television. We're going to buy a big new TV. Because we only had around 21-inch TVs in the house at the time. And we wanted to buy a big TV. We wanted to go huge, which was 32 inches at that time. And so we went out, we found this incredible television, and then I turned around to Ellen and I was like, well, see, when we're buying the TV, we may as well buy a Blu-ray player as well. And so I kind of convinced Ellen to do so. And picked up the TV, picked up the Blu-ray, and then I went in and I picked up, believe it or not, Wall-E was my first Blu-ray pickup, and what a movie this is. And I've just recently got it on 4K, and I'm going to feature that in a haul video very soon. But I love this movie, one of my favourite animated movies of all time. And then I also picked up Iron Man, and I have to tell you, Iron Man looked great on Blu-ray, but I tell you, when I seen it Wall-E, it really did kind of blew me away when I seen it. Such a leap over the DVD. And the Blu-rays kind of got me going then when it came to the collectibles. I was probably maybe 3 years collecting Blu-rays, and then all of a sudden, I mentioned this there on my rarest videos that I showed the Predator bust up here. My fiance picked that up for me. That was the first bust that she got me on Blu-ray. And then it just went from there when it came to Blu-ray bust collectibles and anything to do with collectibles on Blu-ray. So Blu-ray was a kind of a hit and miss when it comes to my enjoyment of collecting them. Just for the simple reason that, everything started closing down in Ireland. Maybe in the latter part of the Blu-rays. Maybe latter part, maybe halfway through. I honestly can't remember. So yeah, I'm a bit kind of mixed when it comes to Blu-rays because I was buying a lot of my Blu-rays online. So naturally, it's not as near as fun as, hunting these down. I kind of missed the thrill of the hunt. It really is a shame, and it kills me to this day that I don't have the luxury of doing that. And so then around 2016 came along, and then 4K got announced, and I was terribly excited about 4K because I actually had a 4K TV. I bought it around a year before the player actually came out. I had the TV, just didn't have the player, and I was massively excited about 4K. And to this day, I still think that when it comes to leaps, 4K definitely has the smallest leap when it comes to quality. You know, I'm always talking about 4Ks nowadays, but I don't talk about Blu-ray near as much as I should, because I still love Blu-ray to this day. I think it's a fantastic format. And yeah, the 4K Blu-rays just didn't have that leap that we did have from DVD to Blu-ray. And then when I bought my first 4K player, I remember they weren't even out here in Ireland. You couldn't buy any 4K players in Ireland. You know, I had to buy it from England, I did. I probably was one of the first people to actually have a 4K player in Ireland. And when I got that player in, I picked this movie up on 4K, The Martian. Now, this movie was a bit of a no-brainer. I think there was only around 7 movies that came out on 4K when they first came out. But this was the movie that I was always going to pick up. And I have to tell you, folks, when you stack that up against some of the best 4K Blu-rays, still probably one of the best out there, has to be said. It still blows me away when you kind of see the wide shots of the vistas and all that kind of stuff. It just looks absolutely remarkable, and it's still regarded as one of my favorite 4K transfers. And my 4K journey, as you know, it's continuing, and I think this is probably 4K is probably the best format when it comes to collectibles. There is so many collectibles coming out in 4K, and it's a great thing. And it's all down to like boutique labels like the likes of Arrow Video and 88 Films, and you know, these companies that I came across like Film Arena, you know, all them kind of Scream Factory. They all kind of contribute to these lovely collectible editions that I love. And I'm sure I will keep collecting them until, well, I was going to say until we get a new format, but I honestly think that this is it now. I know there's 8K televisions out there. I've actually owned one before and I sold it. And I just can't see it. That's it. I think there's not going to be format for 8K. I can't see 8K Blu-rays coming out. So it kind of makes you wonder what is the point of these 8K televisions, and it's probably why I actually ended up selling my TV. So folks, I just wanted to put this out there. It was just a quick, simple video just to give you just a little understanding of what I am all about when it comes to collecting physical media. I am very passionate about it. I love it. I love this, being part of this YouTube family, this community that we have going on, because I get to share my passion with yous. And I have to tell you, since YouTube, when I started YouTube, over 2 years ago, honestly, I think it's one of the best things I've ever done. And I can only encourage people to do the same, especially if you are as passionate as I am when it comes to collecting movies. You don't even have to be as passionate as I am. You just have to love it. And I think the rewards you get from it, I think is definitely worth doing. And again, I just wanted to thank every single one of you for your unbelievable support towards my channel. And I honestly hope that this video might just give you a better understanding of what exactly I'm all about and why I do love collecting movies as much as I do. So that is it, folks. That is it. So as per usual, if you did like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you could leave a comment down below, and please do share your thoughts on this video, and please tell me about your journey. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.